how's it going? My name is Harmony Nice and today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different that I've been wanting to do for a while and some of you have suggested to me in the comments in past videos. Today I'm going to be doing the 5 biggest misconceptions about Wicca. And this is not the video at all to hate on the people that may have had these misconceptions about Wicca, because if you are uneducated on the subject or you just kind of have heard random things and that is your perception on Wicca, then why would you know anything else? But before we start, it's time for another sponsorship. I'm extremely excited to be once again telling you about this absolutely amazing app that I've spoken about in my previous video called Pagan and Witches by Amino. But today I have something special to announce in my collaboration with Pagan and Witches by Amino. So myself and Pagan and Witches Amino will be holding a challenge and a giveaway on the app. On this app there are tons and tons of things to do to help you with your pagan, witchcraft or Wicca journey. Some of these great aspects include things like public chats of all kinds, posts, quizzes and photo sharing, all devised by witches, pagans and Wiccans as you may be yourself. Recently I've been loving and chatting and connecting with other Wiccans through the public chats on this app and discovering more and more people who follow the same path as I do and into the same things that I'm into from all around the world, which helps me discover more and more in my Wicca journey even at this point. Also, I think it's helpful whether you just want help starting your Wicca, pagan or witchcraft journey, or whether you are an experienced Wiccan, etc. and just maybe want to connect with others like yourself, or even if you just want some inspiration for your next ritual. Because Pagan and Witches Amino connects you with such a range of people posting, it's super helpful and interesting no matter where you are in your journey. So, what do you have to do to enter? The theme of this challenge is altars. To enter this giveaway, all you have to do is post a picture of your permanent or semi-permanent altar on the Pagan and Witches app and a hashtag HarmonyNice and a sentence telling me and everybody about a little bit about your altar and your favorite part of your altar. You'll be giving away 3 Amazon gift cards. The first lucky person who gets to win this Amazon gift card gets $100 to spend on Amazon. Amino will also be giving away 2 $50 gift cards as well to 2 runner-ups, and I will pick the lucky winner and 2 lucky runner-ups, and Pagan and Witches Amino will contact the winner by September the 15th. So good luck to everybody entering, whether you are entering the challenge or not. I definitely think if you are a pagan or witch or a Wiccan and maybe you should definitely check out the app regardless of this challenge. It is seriously one of the best apps to help you with your spiritual journey of this sort. So make sure to follow me on there, and I really look forward to seeing all of your beautiful altars, and I will put a link to the app in the description down below. So with all that being said, I'm just going to hop into counting down the 5 biggest misconceptions about Wicca. This is a list of the 5 main myths that I have personally experienced, and hopefully they will clear up any odd misconceptions that you may have heard about Wicca or anything like that if you're looking to get into the faith, or you may have just read things about it, or you may have a bad misconception of Wicca and you just want to know if the things you've heard are true. Don't get confused, all of these statements are myths, so about Wicca. The first biggest misconception about Wicca is that witchcraft and being a witch and being a Wiccan is the same thing. And also, to add to that, Wiccan just means good witch. And this is actually a very common misconception that I even had when I was very young before I got into the faith. They're not at all the same thing. A witch is a witch. It is somebody that practices witchcraft, and I guess it can sort of be perceived as a lifestyle. Witchcraft is not a religion, but more of a practice. A witch is someone who can understand and practice magic like Wiccans, but do not at all necessarily follow a faith of any kind like paganism or Wicca. Witchcraft is a practice. A witch is someone that practices it. There's so much more to what a witch is, but I'm not going to go into the whole great detail of it. This also means a lot of people believe, and I personally think as well, that if you're a witch, you can also have another religion. Definitely for sure be a witch and stick with your Buddhist faith or your Hindu faith or your Muslim faith or anything like that. A lot of people have different beliefs on that, and some people don't believe that you can be that and it contradicts them too much. That's down to the individual person. That's for paganism, and what the difference of a pagan is pretty much an umbrella term for anybody that practices a nature-based religion. So like Wicca, Druidry, Hinduism, anybody that practices anything like that, they all fall under this term. Or it can be someone that follows deities, or they can just follow nothing. They all simply follow the laws of the earth, the universe, and the law of nature. Follow guidelines within these laws of nature, like the seasons, like the moon phases, way of the world, like Wiccans do in their faith and their practices. But as for Wicca, Wicca is a nature and pagan-based religion. To put it frankly, a Wiccan is somebody that is a witch and a pagan, and we practice witchcraft as a part of our religion. Wicca is a very, very non-restrictive religion, and in our Wicca journey we discover the right path for us to take, for what is right for each individual Wiccan. We practice balance, we follow the power of the universe, the power of nature, the sun, the moon, the stars, which also ties into a lot of traditional pagan beliefs. And we have deities, but we do not see deities traditionally like a lot of other people see their deities, which if you are confused about, I do actually have a video all about deities on my channel that I will link down below. Deities to a lot of Wiccans are just personifications of nature themselves. The majority of witches and Wiccans have deities that we worship that represent different parts of nature and the earth. I think that one of the main reasons why Wicca is just confused to be a good witch is because in Wicca we do not have like silly little rules. The only really thing we live by is if it harms none, do what you will. And we strongly believe in karma, so whatever you put into the world, if it's positive, it will come back to you, and if it's negative, it will also come back to you. Which obviously applies for our practice too. So in almost all of our practices, we never put anything out there purposely to cause negativity or harm to anything. It's causing as little harm as we possibly can to every plant, every person, every living thing, every animal. It's a combination of pagan traditions and also the practice of witchcraft. And you can probably see that now. So misconception number 2. Wiccans worship Satan, and Wicca is the same as Satanism. This is probably the biggest misconception of what Wicca is. You have no idea how many freaking comments I get per day telling me I'm a Satanist. Mainly obviously comments on here for people that are just genuinely really uneducated on the subject, which is fine, but it's completely false. Wiccans do not worship the devil, and it is completely different to Satanism. Satan is a Christian belief. Christianity, their religion, invented Satan, and we are most certainly not Christians. No shade to Christians, do your thing. If you're respectful, I respect you. In our eyes, Satan is just something that has been created by Christianity. It's just like a Christian entity. Wicca follows the beliefs of the earth around us. In our minds, Satan is imaginary, and that also does not mean everything goes. We have a lot of morals in putting only positivity out into the earth. Again, what karma comes from, so it doesn't mean we're just gonna go around like fucking everyone's life up. The reason I think this has been confused and kind of put into like ignorance and uneducation is because of the way some of our deities look. Like some of our deities, like well-known ones, like the Pan God, are obviously perceived with horns. Fun fact, Christians back in the day decided to make and perceive their concept of evil so similar to pagan looking deities, just to the fact to make people convert to Christianity. And this is true. They literally took what our deities looked like with the horns and things like that, which, you know, things with horns anyway aren't, why would they be evil anyway? They took that and made it their perception of evil to make people convert into Christianity. That's the only reason why people see it that way and why they think we like freaking worship Satan and things like that. Much like the pagan Sabbats were taken and made into Christian holidays. That's where all your holidays come from. Paganism. And that is why it is perceived that way, and that literally just proves that in itself that they created Satan. Like, we just believe in the earth as it is, honey. Don't want anything perception of evil. We don't want it. Of course, Satanists do exist. Of course, there's also Satanists that may practice witchcraft, but witchcraft, the practice itself, Wicca and paganism have nothing to do with Satan. It's what you do with it that makes it good or bad. Much like in Christianity. Just because you're a Christian, it's what you do with Christianity that makes you a good or a bad person that does good or bad thing. But Wicca, the faith itself, is nothing, has nothing, does nothing to do with the Christianity belief of Satan. Like, there's just nothing to do with it. It's just nothing to do with it. I'm not all hating on Christians. I have met loads and loads of Christians that are extremely open to what I practice and genuinely interested and unjudgmental. It's okay if we do not feel the same about things, as long as we're not being disrespectful to each other. For all you other boner dethroners, Wicca spreads nothing more than balance, kindness, positivity, and love for the earth. So if that is evil, if that is worshipping Satan, then fuck, we are evil. Which leads me to my third misconception, which are pentagrams are the symbol of the devil. What? Such a large misconception, not only about Wicca, but also the poor little pentagram itself. This has been represented that way by people who are uneducated on what it actually means. Of course, people are going to have weird misconceptions about it. And as you guys obviously know, the pentagram is one of the main symbols that we use in Wicca. Once again, pentagrams are not a symbol of the devil. Not at all. A pentagram basically represents the natural elements. So the points basically represent the spirit, the water, the fire, the earth, and the air. Literally, all it represents is everything all around us that we breathe in, that we see and walk on every single day. That's all it represents. That's it. We use the pentagram in our practices to literally keep negative energies away. Fun fact, originally the pentagram with the point facing upward represented facing to the sky, so female energies and the divine and the goddess, etc. And the inverted pentagram that had the point face down, again, never meant the devil to begin with. The inverted pentagram, so with the point facing down, actually used to just be pointing to the ground to actually represent more masculine energies like earth, masculine deities and things like that. But obviously the pentagram itself and more the inverted pentagram has been taken, obviously made into the symbol of the devil. It has got so many negative connotations around it, and although obviously the inverted pentagram facing down in Satanism means something completely different, you know, they use it for completely different uses to redo, and that, okay, that's fine, you do you, whatever. But to us, to what it means to us, the pentagram, it's just not the same for Wiccans. Again, in our eyes, in our practices, in our faith, there is no such thing as Satan. Again, he just simply doesn't exist. Misconception number 4. Wiccans have a dark Bible or a book of shadows that all of us follow. Believe it or not, this is actually one of the most common misconceptions that I get like asked about on an every single day basis. People ask if Wiccans have this one guidebook that we all follow, that we all learn stuff from. It's got loads and loads of spells in. It holds everything you need to know and the wonders of the universe and how you do things, you know, where to get a book of shadows and things like that. Which is totally okay, because I mean, if you're just jumping into the faith, how the hell would you know it any different? Which is what a lot of people believe a book of shadows or a grimoire is. Also, a lot of people who are obviously against my beliefs and my practices in Wicca have literally said to me why I follow a dark Bible. Someone truthfully, literally has said to me that they are going to burn every book of the dark Bible that Wiccans have. But we do not follow a dark Bible, whatever the fuck that means. Wicca is just not like that. We do not have a book of set rules how every Wiccan should be and rules to live by, because Wicca isn't like that. Wicca is so diverse in our beliefs and so simple. We learn everything differently and do everything differently. So Wicca is just not like that to begin with. And there's obviously common knowledge about Wicca, but there's no like guidebook that like tells you exactly what to do and exactly how to do things and how to live and blah. So there is no such thing as a dark Bible. Where there is a satanic Bible, which you may be confusing it with, but we do not follow the Wiccans in particular do not follow a satanic Bible. A book of shadows is a book that a Wiccan usually writes themselves, documenting their journey, their spells, what they learn in the faith. Everybody uses it for different reasons. Some people just use it for spells, some people use it for absolutely everything Wicca, some use it as kind of a diary for everything, and some get book of shadows passed down to them if they have family or family members that are Wiccan or witches or anything like Wiccans or witches or anything like that. But usually a book of shadows or a grimoire is so personal to the Wiccan that you write it yourself. It's all your experiences with it, your learnings, your practices, your rituals, your spells, etc. They're all personal to you. You may not just have one book of shadows throughout your lifetime. I am on my 3rd book of shadows. Bearing in mind the first one, I feel like completely, the second one I never finished because I didn't want to and I wanted to get a new book of shadows. I believe you never stop learning as a Wiccan or a witch. And I think the mystery all kind of comes because Wiccans are so protective of their book of shadows, because it's such a personal thing. A lot of people do not even believe other people should see your book of shadows unless you're in a coven or something. People develop this idea that we're like hiding something dark in there and something that's like life destroying. In reality, we are protective of our magic. We are protective of our practices, making sure they don't get in any of the hands of people we do not want to. And number 5, the last common misconception about Wicca is purely a female religion. So unfortunately, again, one of the most frequently things that I get asked as a Wiccan that is very, very open about her journey in social media is from men and boys asking if they can become a Wiccan or is it just a female religion. And this is completely false. It's definitely not just for females. The difference is, I personally think it's quite female dominated. That does not at all mean it's just for girls. Some of the largest influences in Wicca have been male. The difference is, in Wicca, we see and treat everybody as equals. Nobody is above another person. No race is above another person. No gender is above another person. We are all equal. Even if they are more experienced in the craft, learning and listening to them and hearing what they have to say and learning from them is completely fine, but that does not mean they are more important than you. There can be no female energy without male energy, and there can be no male energy without female energy. So we welcome all people of any gender, any race, any sexual orientation. If you possess the dedication to the faith with all of yourself and are drawn to the faith with all of your being, you feel like it is the right thing for you to do and you become dedicated as hell to it, then of course the Wicca faith is accepting. There is no discrimination involved. Some are born with it, some are destined to find it. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this different sort of video. So many misconceptions about Wicca, and these were the ones I just felt like really needed clearing up, ones that I get asked about on the daily. If you enjoyed it, I hope it helped any of you out there. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys. Wicca.